So in this video, we're going to talk about eating out and how that's going to keep you staying on track. If you're struggling to eat out, don't overthink it. Don't worry about derailing your progress. You won't. If you're going out every day and eating every day out, then yes, absolutely you will. If you're going out once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, etc., it can be done. You don't have to miss social events just because, you're restricted on your nutrition a bit. So one example of this is work out your weekly calorie allowance. So think about your calories as a week as opposed to a day. So like it says in the top of this slide here, if your calorie allowance is 2,000 a day, that's going to equate to 14,000 calories per week. So if you know on a weekend that you're going to go out for a meal with your family or your friends or whatever it is you're going to do, or you just need a cheap meal, say those words loosely, then you know you're going to go over your calorie allowance by 500 or 1,000 calories, right? So you know you're going to have to pull them calories back. So one way of doing this is the day before. So say if you know you're going to go over by 500, the day before you go out, you deduct 500 calories from the day before or the day after. If that's too many calories to lose, you can do it 2 days before or 2 days after and knock it down to 250 so that your weekly overall allowance is going to sit still at the 14,000 calories or whatever your weekly allowance is. Just make sure that you do not exceed your allowance. You keep within that weekly calorie allowance. Another way to do it is by having a lighter breakfast or lunch. So deduct some calories from there. If you know it's only going to be a few hundred calories that you're going to need extra on that day, just take some from your breakfast or lunch. So, pull something out of so that you're not having so much for breakfast or so much for lunch. You can also reduce your meal frequency. So one way to explain this would be intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, you would, if you normally have 3 meals a day, you'd have 2. If you have 4 meals a day, you could have 2 or you could have 3. Take some of the calories from that day. But again, it's dependent on how many calories you're going to need to be able to go out to have this eating out meal. In terms of tracking your food when you're eating out, okay, this can be a little bit tricky, not going to lie. It can be a little bit tricky. If you're going somewhere that is known, like a Nando's or a Frankie and Benny's or something that is known, these restaurants are listed on FitnessPal. So this is quite easy for you to be able to scan, like pre-log your meal so you know how many calories you got that day. You can do all that. With the places that are quite generic, so pizza places, burger places, kebab places, Chinese, all this kind of stuff, you do have to search for generic things. So you would just type in Chinese takeaway or pizza takeaway. What you don't want to be tempted with is to select the lower calorie option. Do not select the lower calorie, go with the middle ground. So there'll be some that are quite high in calories, some that are quite low. Find the one in the middle and stick with that. It won't be completely spot on because pizzas are made up of different things from different places, but you're going to get a rough guide. So go with the middle ground. There's going to be all these types of variations on these entries on FitnessPal. If it's out by 100 calories, in the bigger scheme of things, going on a weekly calorie allowance, it's not going to make that much difference at all. Like I said, as long as you're not doing this every day, right? Just occasionally. Just all you can do is do your best. Don't stress about it. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be spot on, but this is a way to allow you to still have a social life and not panic that you're going to have to derail your whole program and you're going to gain 10 pounds in one meal or anything like that. This is just a little guide to give you some ideas on how to pull these calories back and a better understanding of it. Hope that helps, guys. Any problems, give me a shout.